Hey, welcome to World Code Updates. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. Manila, tensions erupt once again in the West Philippine Sea, sending shockwaves through the city and across the nation. Chinese Coast Guard vessels aggressively blockade a Philippine resupply mission to the BRP Sierra Madre at Ayungin Shoal, forcing the small, unarmed supply boats to retreat under relentless water cannon fire. The confrontation leaves Filipino sailors shaken, their mission thwarted, and the world watching. This is an old story, repeating itself over decades, but now the stakes are higher than ever before. Each incident adds to a long history of maritime tension and unresolved conflict. The South China Sea has become a global flashpoint, a place where China's sweeping ambitions collide with the Philippines' sovereign rights and the interests of many other nations. Every encounter at sea risks a dangerous miscalculation, a single mistake that could spark a wider conflict with dire, far-reaching consequences for the region and beyond. For ordinary Filipinos, this isn't just distant geopolitics. It's a direct and personal threat to their security, their daily livelihood, and their sense of national identity. The anxiety is felt in every coastal village and fishing community. The West Philippine Sea is vital, a lifeline that provides food, jobs, and pride for millions. It's a resource protected by international law, and its waters are woven into the fabric of Filipino life. Yet, China's presence only grows stronger, dismissing the 2016 arbitration ruling and enforcing its sweeping claims through sheer force and intimidation, building artificial islands and expanding its military reach. The world watches closely as Manila faces a daunting question. How does a middle power nation stand up to a relentless superpower, and what choices will it make in the face of mounting pressure? The decisions made in these tense moments will shape not just the Philippines' future, but also the global order for territorial disputes and the rules that govern the world's seas. The pressure is on, uncertainty hangs in the air, and the world is holding its breath as history unfolds in the waters of the West Philippine Sea. The Philippines' history is shaped not just by foreign powers, but by the constant ebb and flow of maritime struggles. For centuries, the islands have been both a crossroads and a battleground, where cultures, ambitions, and empires have collided on its shores. Spanish and American colonizers left deep, lasting marks, instilling in Filipinos both a fierce sense of nationalism and a pragmatic reliance on alliances for survival. These experiences forged a resilient spirit, teaching the nation to adapt and resist in equal measure. The U.S. remains a key ally, providing security and support, but memories of colonial rule still fuel skepticism and debate about the true cost of outside influence. Today's South China Sea dispute is only the latest chapter in a centuries-old fight for sovereignty and self-determination, echoing the struggles of the past. Unlike past empires, China is a massive neighbor, impossible to ignore, impossible to expel, and its presence is felt in every corner of the region. This proximity makes the challenge more complex and dangerous than ever before, as every encounter at sea carries the risk of escalation and uncertainty. Leaders know that ceding even a sliver of territory sets a dangerous precedent, one that could threaten the nation's future security and independence. The fight for the West Philippine Sea is seen by many as a modern struggle for independence, a test of national resolve and unity in the face of overwhelming odds. It's about more than resources or territory. It's about the right to chart the nation's own course, to decide its own destiny without interference. The ghosts of colonialism linger, warning against complacency in the face of a new challenge, and reminding Filipinos that the struggle for sovereignty is never truly over. The South China Sea is a lifeline for the Philippines, economically and existentially. Its waters feed millions, supporting small-scale fishermen whose survival depends on access to ancestral fishing grounds. Chinese harassment isn't abstract. It's a direct blow to Filipino families. Beneath the waves lie untapped oil and gas reserves, potentially transformative for the nation's energy security. But China's sweeping claims have frozen exploration, holding economic growth hostage. 1/3 of global maritime trade passes through these waters, making stability crucial for the Philippines and the world. Control over the sea means control over food, energy, and trade. For Manila, giving up its exclusive economic zone would mean sacrificing its future. For China, dominance here is central to its regional ambitions. The heart of the conflict is China's Nine-Dash Line, a sweeping claim that covers nearly the entire South China Sea. This line cuts through the exclusive economic zones of the Philippines and other Southeast Asian nations. China insists on historical rights, but these claims have no basis in modern international law. UNCLOS, ratified by China, defines clear maritime boundaries. Boundaries the Nine-Dash Line ignores. China's campaign of island building and militarization enforces its claim, transforming reefs into military outposts. For the Philippines, the Nine-Dash Line threatens to erase legal rights and national heritage. Manila's legal challenge was a stand against this narrative, a fight to protect its future. The Nine-Dash Line isn't just a map feature, it's a declaration of intent and a source of instability. The stakes are existential for the region's smaller states. In 2013, the Philippines took China to court, seeking clarity under UNCLOS. The 2016 Hague ruling was a sweeping victory. China's Nine-Dash Line was declared illegal, and Philippine rights were affirmed. The tribunal condemned China's island building and environmental destruction. The decision was celebrated globally as a win for the rules-based order. But the victory was symbolic. China rejected the ruling and doubled down on its activities. The Philippines gained a powerful legal tool, but no enforcement mechanism. China's defiance left Manila and its allies with a dilemma: how to turn legal victory into real-world results. The ruling stands as a paper shield against China's steel hulls. The struggle continues, with law on one side and raw power on the other. After the arbitration win, President Duterte chose rapprochement with China, shelving the ruling for promised investments. Supporters called it pragmatic, better to seek economic gains than fight a losing battle. Critics saw it as appeasement, arguing that China's aggression never stopped and investments rarely materialized. President Marcos Jr. has since shifted to a more assertive stance, calling out Chinese actions and strengthening U.S. ties. Yet, economic links with China remain vital. Manila walks a diplomatic tightrope, defending sovereignty without alienating a powerful neighbor. Every move is a balancing act between pride and pragmatism. The stakes: national rights, economic growth, and regional stability. The path forward is fraught with risk and uncertainty. China's gray zone tactics dominate the South China Sea, coercion without open conflict. Instead of warships, China uses its Coast Guard and maritime militia to intimidate and control. Water cannons, lasers, and swarms of fishing boats create constant pressure on Philippine vessels. These actions are aggressive, but stop short of war, making military response risky for Manila. The maritime militia's civilian guise gives China plausible deniability. For the Philippines, countering these tactics is a no-win situation: resist and risk escalation, or yield and lose ground. China's strategy is to change the status quo, one incident at a time. The campaign is slow, grinding, and relentless. The line between peace and conflict grows ever thinner. Facing relentless pressure from regional threats and growing uncertainty, the Philippines leans on its oldest and most powerful ally, the United States. This partnership, forged over decades, is now more crucial than ever as Manila navigates a complex security environment. The 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty, a cornerstone of the alliance, now explicitly covers attacks in the South China Sea, reaffirming America's commitment to defend the Philippines if conflict erupts in these contested waters. The U.S. backs this promise with regular joint military exercises, high-profile freedom of navigation patrols, and vital support for the ongoing modernization of the Philippine Armed Forces, enhancing their readiness and capabilities. The Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, or EDCA, allows U.S. forces to rotate through key Philippine bases, bringing advanced equipment and training, and significantly boosting deterrence against potential aggressors. Newly designated EDCA sites near Taiwan and the Spratly Islands further strengthen the alliance's regional posture, positioning both nations to respond rapidly to emerging threats and crises. For Manila, U.S. support is a vital security lifeline, providing reassurance in uncertain times. Yet, this close partnership also brings new risks and difficult choices. The Philippines now finds itself on the front line of the intensifying U.S.-China rivalry, where every move is closely watched and every decision carries weight. Beijing warns that closer U.S. ties stoke regional tensions and risk entangling Manila in a great power conflict, raising the stakes for all involved. The alliance is both a protective shield and a lightning rod for controversy, drawing both support and criticism at home and abroad. Manila must carefully leverage U.S. support, maximizing its benefits while avoiding being dragged into a conflict not of its own making, a delicate balancing act in a volatile region. The stakes are higher than ever, and the choices made now will shape the Philippines' future for generations to come. The Philippines stands at a crossroads, its choices shaping not just its own fate, but the region's. It holds the legal and moral high ground, but faces a neighbor willing to use force. One path: resist, publicize Chinese aggression, deepen alliances, and rally global support at the risk of escalation. Another: de-escalate, prioritize economic ties, and seek compromise at the risk of surrendering rights and precedent. The stakes are national identity, sovereignty, and the future of the rules-based order. Will the Philippines defend its rights or yield to pressure? The world is watching, as small and middle powers everywhere look for answers. The struggle for the West Philippine Sea is a test for the 21st century: law or might? The outcome will echo far beyond these contested waters. The choice is urgent, and history will remember what Manila decides.